All right. Good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you may be. We're going to finish up our mittens. We just have the outside area to do. And once we get that done, then we will go back to working on our Santa or our Saint Nick. So I'm going to pull a lot of that out because I don't have my protector around the sides, so if it catches the yarn, then it will um, get hung and pull out of all the little holes that we just punched it into. So I am going to go ahead and come this way. And remember, I do higgly piggly and break up that outline so that I'm not just going in the same direction over and over and over and over. So we will just continue to do this. I'm talking away and my mic is muted. So I've pushed back from my thing. Instead of sitting on a bar stool at my desk like I did the last couple times I worked on this, I've got this on top of my other stand. And so I'm just standing up to finish this. And we'll see how that goes. And hopefully everybody has had a good day. Like I said, I'm going to go back in here. And I kind of went around with some of the dark black almost, has a very long run on it when it's what we call the hand painted, where how they paint the colors in. And so I took that really dark and went around and hit a bunch of other areas to try to break up that dark some, so you can see where all of this was done in one run of the yarn. Because when you see, like, it starts here again, and it literally keeps going to about right here. So all of this is really, really dark. And so I'm trying to break that up. So you may see me jump around a little bit where I'm trying to throw that into different areas. And remember, if your yarn gets snagged like this did right here, I've got this big run that's really not inside anything. So, whoops. Let me fix that. So, I cut that back out, and we'll just come in right here and go around that area right there. And again, remember, it's all about not getting stuck, not putting your arm down on it and holding it down, because then it won't punch, it won't feed in anywhere. And if you're watching on YouTube, I would greatly appreciate a thumbs up, and if you'd love to subscribe, that would be awesome. So we're doing this one, and if we get this done in plenty of time, then what we'll do is move back over to our St. Nick. We got his shading done on his beard, and we can actually finish his beard tonight. And I've got the colors for his face now, the flesh tones. So if we want to work on that, we can do that depending on how long. And how many errors we have. I need to move this real quick. Let me move that. I am going to turn the fan on. We had a little cool front come in today. Our high was in the 60s. Supposed to be down in the 30s tonight. Of course, that doesn't mean we turn our heat on, because it'll just be back to air conditioner in the morning. Now see, we've got this long run of dark, And I don't want it to get too heavy on the dark, so I probably will cut this, move around a little bit. Maybe come up here. Put a little of that dark up in here. This isn't normally you don't cut your yarn this much, but I really don't want big, heavy concentrations of the dark gray. So I'm going to move that around unless I run out of it. And it does not look like I'm going to run out of it. So let's come over here. Move my camera up so high that I think y'all should be able to see this without me having to move the camera around when I move. And there. Ran out of that dark. So I'm going to cut that there and move back over to the other side. I'm going to grab quite a bit out of it and throw it in the middle up here because of the fact that I'm working around all these itty bitty needles. And then I end up with all these little pin pricks in my arm. All right. There we go. All right. Just kind of, I divided that in the center because I didn't want to go round and round and round, because again, it'll still show. Doesn't matter which way you're going, it'll still show a pattern if you're not higgly-piggly in it. So I kind of just divided that. And actually, that's a perfect timing because I hit another dark run. Can you see how long? So it's already in my thing and it goes to right there. So all of that is dark in one little line, and that gets to the point where it just makes it too heavy and too dark. I like the moody dark with the mittens, but that's a little too much. So it's not too dark yet right there. I'm going to go ahead and see what this looks like if I higgly-piggly it right here. Okay, quit. Why are we being difficult? Okay. So there is that. And then let's just put some over here real quick. We'll come around here where it's really, really light. See if we can get rid of some of that. All right, I'm going to stop there. And I am going to come back to this side over here. And you know what? I think I'm going to start right here so I don't have to move this whole thing. We'll get what we can punched before we have to make moves because of the... Oh, now see? That one got twisted around. Okay. So now we're back to, well, this is just falling apart, isn't it? All right. So now I ran out of yarn again, so let's pile a bunch up here. Okay, and let's at least do this one right here. Or we can pull that in there. And I can hold this one. Well, maybe. There we go. Alright, so just trying to see how much I can get done before I have to move this. Alright, and I'm going to do one other thing now that we're in the process. Alright. Now, let's see how far I can get here on this bottom. And I can only go so far. And then we'll Alright, so I'm going to move this just a smidgen to get this up. Alright, so let's get this last little bit down here done. Alright, why are you tangling? This velvet tangles easily, so it makes the flow just a little harder. Alright, I'm going to put my hand here, and I'm going to help hold this and try to keep my hands off of the basically carpet tacks, these carpet strip thingies. And that is easier said than done when you don't have, this is why you really like having a tight hoop, you can use a quilting hoop, you can use all kinds of things. I use some of that, oh, what do you call the, it's not ace bandage, but the stretchy, sticky stuff they wrap you in, like what they wrap around your arm when you get a shot. You can wrap that around your hoop, and that will help grab and hold your fabric in place so you have a nice stretched out piece of fabric to punch into. I've done this long enough I can fight it if I need to, but you really want to use things with your frame. I have a feeling I've got something I'm getting ready to do that I'm actually going to probably have to use a hoop with. I do not think I have it on enough fabric to hold it on one of these. Alright, and this is pulled out of my thing, so let's fix that. It's back in there. Alright, let's see what we can do here. I didn't think this would take very long. That's why I have a backup plan if we need it. And if you're watching on YouTube, say hello. Hopefully like and subscribe. I do appreciate it. Oh, I need to turn my speakers down on the music. That was loud. Alright. So, again, like I said, I'm fighting this just a little bit because it's too big for my frame. So let me move this up a little more. Work on this bottom. I'm really excited about working more on my Saint Nick and sheep. And we'll do that next once we get this background finished. We're getting so many projects done that have been sitting in my bucket for a while. Yay us. Right? Hang out. Oh, see. Alright. So I'm back up, putting this up on the top because again, remember, it's snagging on my thingies, on my little tacks. So let's grab some of this, move it up there, and then we'll go again. Remember, I divide this as I go because I don't want to keep going round and round, and I want it to be more higgly-piggly in the background. I want my mittens to be what draws your eye, not the background. And I think when you've got it going all in one direction, then your eye goes to that instead. So we're going to cut that there. I'm going to move over and we're going to see how we do on getting this. And I always pull my tails through at the beginning instead of popping them through later. I just think that's faster, but that's just me. Just the way I do it. Oops, see? That pulled. Okay, come back. Get off my little thingies. Alright, so then, see, I'll just go in, I'll fill in this little area, And I am a heavy puncher. I do punch thicker than some people. And these aren't going on the floor, so it's not as big of a deal. They're velvet, so they will go on the wall. All right, let's see. So if you ever watch tufting, this is the same thing that they do with tufting guns, except I'm doing it by hand. Although this one's fiddly just because it doesn't fit on my frame. But normally, that's not the way it goes. And you'll see that on the next one that we get ready to work on. And it keeps catching on the hooks. So, we're going to get that one out of here. Alright, now I can start pulling down a little tighter. And I know people think, well, if you pull your tails through at the beginning, then you use more yarn, but you don't, because I just hold on back here in order to pull my tail through. And so you're not pulling extra yarn. You're literally just pulling that tail. Alright. One more. Cut that off. And we've lost my skein down onto the floor, but that's alright, because we will just pull from there. As long as the cat doesn't see it. And I've moved the chair out of my way so the cat is shielded from the tempting stuff on the ground. Now we're getting back into that really, really dark. We'll see how much we want to do of it, and then I may cut that part, some of that off. And I may just come back right here. Fill this in. Maybe with some, just let this all be dark under the thumb. So, just come back over here. And maybe instead of going down there and filling that in with the dark, I will fill up here in. And we'll put light in between those, so it's not too much dark at one time. Alright. And we still have dark. This really has a long run on the... So, I think then I'm going to come over here until we hit that lighter again, because that's a lot of dark in one place. And if you're joining me on YouTube, welcome. My shirt's attached to my stand, the whole thing's attached. We may have to cut some of this dark just off. We can always put it back in my gun later, but look at all this still dark. This is all still really, really dark. Until, look at that, right there. I mean, you saw how much dark I already punched, and there's still all of that to go. That is a lot of dark. So now I'm going to come back to down here where I broke up that dark. Alright, so that's that one. And that's just bothering me, so I'm going to cut it off. Okay, and then we're back to okay, grab some more. What? I guess the light has a long run too, but it has lighter light and then a medium light. I mean a medium. So I don't notice it, I guess, as fast. Thanks, Trish. Let me do this just real quick. All right. So just needed to do that real quick. And all right. And then oh, my child. What did she say? Okay. So, alrighty. Now back to Alrighty, so okay. Alrighty, we're getting there. And then we'll scoot it down, finish it up. Alright, just making sure y'all can see this. Alright, ran out again. Let's cut this. Okay. So stop. Oh, oh. Okay. Oh. Nope, it's fine. Alright, let's see. What am I trying to do? My phone's going off. That's what I wanted right there. Okay. Back to this. Alright, let's get this back up here. We're almost done. There's another big long run. After dark. Alright. Whoops. Let's get that tail down. There we go. Alright. Ah, they've attached. My shirt keeps attaching to the frame. Alright, so we are just about to the point we can't go any higher here. But we can fill in these last two little circles before we move down. Alright, stop. Seriously. Okay. And then alright. Huh. Well, there you go. That's interesting. So 1080p60. Huh. They are going to be cute. They're done in velvet, so this will be fun. We're almost through with them. I'm going to move this down, and of course you're seeing the back side. Remember, we always punch through to the front. And I keep attaching myself, but you should see what we're working on next. That is what I'm excited about. Oh, and now we have an appearance. Hello. How are you? Huh? How are you? Alright. So, hi. How are you? I bet you're hungry. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Yay! I appreciate you not giving up. And yes, you would think Otto would be Otto. Right? Alright. Let me see if Dad's coming to... Oh, Dad's coming to fix him some dinner. The kitty wanted dinner. Alright. So, get this done, and I'm going to come back. Oh, see. Okay, so you see what happens as soon as there's a knot in this thing and it can't feed through, then you think you're punching and you look down and it's not going anywhere. So then you just go back in, pull it back down to where you were, and then go back in again. So I was going to come across here and just do this. I'm not just going round and round in circles. Right. So let's get this. We're almost to the end of this. We literally have this much more. I don't know that we'll get this. We'll have to probably use the other skein also. But see how good that lighter looks when it comes in between that dark. All right, we're gonna do that. Just a little more. All right, so I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna try to get that to go that way because I'm just trying to hang on to this corner to get this punched. So I'm gonna hold it up again. Maybe if I can get this edge done, then I can move it this way. See, you hear me hitting right at the edge of the frame, right there. So let me get this corner done. And I am going to come back down here a little ways. All right, and then I'm going to take this, try to secure this a little bit more on this edge. No, maybe not. Like I said, this one's just a little more fiddly because we're trying to work it on something it doesn't really fit on. But we're about to get it done. And then you'll see both of them together because I have them doing the alternate thing. And then we will move on to our pretty Saint Nick that we've already done the sheep to. And if I do say so myself, it is beautiful. Okay. So, because I'm right at the frame, that's why I'm just having a little more issue there. All right, so now I'm going to come in right here. All right, and then this is all we have left of that. So we will have to open the other one. Now my canvases are not the same on these two, but the fabric's not the same size on these two, but the mittens themselves and the background are the same size. So even though my canvas is shorter, the picture itself is the same size. So to here. And really, I'm going to just go ahead and move this so I'm not fighting quite so hard. It's this side. We'll worry about that side when we get to that side. Alright, and then over to here. Okay, now we'll get that done and see if we can finish this little triangle with what we have left on our needle. What do you think? I think we did. Oh, almost. We got one little hole left. So, okay, I know I have another one. Oh, it's underneath me. Underneath me. All right. Look at that. And we found the end. It was so easy. So easy. All right. Okay. So, now we're back to this other side. I am going to try to get this edge fixed. I'm going to reach in this way. Try to get this edge punched, and then we will move this that direction so that it's easier to punch. Alright, let's see if we can scoot this over. We can at least catch just a smidgen of this. Let's come down some though. We're going to have to come down and over, but see, we can angle it. Pull that just as tight as we can over there. Pull this just as tight as we can there. And that won't be too bad. Let's see what we can do with that. All right. Ah. All right. trying to figure out which angle to go at here. I think we can do this. And here's the nice thing. When you flip this over, and if you have an area that you can see through, you can see the actual backing without bending the stuff, then you can just throw this back on the frame and punch that area. So it's not a big deal if you miss something. You can always just go back in. All right. So we'll start over here. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to start there because I have the light right now and I know I'm going to hit dark. I'm going to go ahead and do my light inside here where it's already dark all the way around it. And that way, thanks for the lurk, Lady Cricket Bug. I appreciate it. Okay, so that's better. Now I know at least I'm not going to hit a dark patch and fill all that in with dark. So I'm probably busting y'all's eardrums because I'm right under the microphone this way by standing. Okay. We are almost done with the 2 mittens. I won't put them up till after Thanksgiving because I do not decorate before Thanksgiving for Christmas. That's just my thing. Because we don't get a fall here, so I like leaving all my fall. I have fall lighted trees and all of that in the house. So if I don't get to see it outside, at least I get to enjoy it inside for a while. So I will do that, and then these will go either, if I find frames, which I haven't found frames that I like yet. If I don't find frames, then I will just mat them on, I'll wrap them on canvas and hang them that way. So it just really depends on what I find. Now see, I'm attached. All right, so we are back to the end. This will take just a minute more. All right, so here we go. Last one. All right, let me land across here. Grab that. Okay, y'all, look at us go. Ta-da! Now, that's only the first steps, but give me just a second to drop my cameras down so that you'll be able to see closer when I take this stand off, and I will come right back. I just don't want to make you sick. Hold on just one sec. Okay, let me see. I was trying to figure out where the camera would be, and you're missing a little bit, so I'm gonna lift it just a minute, smidge. Just look away. Just look away. All right. So that should give you a good view of when we work on the beard here in a minute. Now let me show you what this hot mess looks like once you've done it. This is the front side. You can't even tell there's mittens there. But that's why we have our little trash can and our little flat scissors. And we're just going to do this real quick. We're not going to do all the cleanup on it, but we're going to do all this so we can see it. So if your loops are uneven, you can trim those off. So, whew, standing there, I had my neck bit wrong, a little too long, so I'm stretching. Okay. So, and remember, this isn't my detailed cleanup. This is just to get it all out of my way so I can see. So we're just going to cut these off real quick, and then I'm going to lay the other one next to it so you can see how I mirrored them. And that's all we'll do on this, and then we'll move on to Santa's beard. Because that's what I really want to do, but I made myself finish this first. Do you ever do that? Do you ever put your other projects in timeout until you finish something? I have way too many projects. So, I do need to just make myself do a stream that is just all about actually finishing, like cleaning up where you can actually see the, you know, all the stuff, and doing the sculpting with the scissors and all that, because I think I have 5 or 6 things down in a bucket on the other side of my desk. They're all rolled up wall art that needs to be finished. It's all punched, but it needs to actually have the cleanup, which is one of the longer processes. So like this. See, you can't really tell the snowflake from the front. You need to move all this around. You've got, you know, cleanup that needs to be done in here so that you can see it and get it all straightened out. See, you didn't even see that one. You have to, so there's, although it looks better on the camera than it does right here, because it's a hot mess express there. You can see where you're missing things, but that's all part of that cleanup after the fact. So, just gonna cut all this off. And this velvet goes everywhere. Look, just running my finger across there. Look at that big old mess. So, but when you cut all these off, you can see, do I have a hole somewhere? Have I missed something I need to punch? And sometimes with these softer, thicker yarns, they'll lay over a certain way, and you'll think, oh, I thought I covered that, but I didn't. So, okay, there. I see, like this one, very hot mess expressy. Like you can't see that snowflake near as well. All right, and let me get the stuff off this side over here that we just did. Almost done. And this in itself is it makes you feel like you're accomplished, doesn't it? Because it looked even worse before. Nope. See, I have one area. Okay, let me show you. Hold on. When I cut that, okay, so it all looks really, really good, right? Until you get to right here. Do you see that hole? There's a hole there. Now, on the back, it doesn't look like there's a hole until you kind of lay this aside and you go, oh, look at that big old hole. So I'll have to go back in, punch that real quick. But that is what one side will look like. And this is what the other one will look like. So they mirror each other, and I will put them on my wall. So I will roll those up and put them on the other side of my desk like everything else that I have finished that I haven't finished. That I've punched, but not really, moved on. Okay, so my party Santa that I'm working on. And we're working on shading him. Hold on, my chair went down as usual. You know how that goes. If I have a stream without saying, my chair just struck, I wouldn't know what to do. Y'all might want to check and make sure that it's really me. Okay, so I used this Oxford 10 punch for the velvet. I needed it to be thick enough to hold that. This one I'm switching back down to my smaller punch. They're both Oxford punches, but you can see the difference in the needle length and also in the holes where it feeds through. Let's see if you can see that. Come on, come on, camera. You can do it. Well, they really, trust me, this one is much smaller than this one. So I needed this thick one for the yarn I was just using, the velvet yarn, because it's Aryan weight yarn. And now I'm moving back on to my beard. And because it's just worsted weight yarn, I don't need quite as large of a needle size. So, and that can be things that frustrate you, because either your yarn is slipping through it too fast and too easy, or it's not going through it at all, and it's just sitting there, it's not punching. So besides it being snagged somewhere, that's another thing, is it could be too thick to go through your needle, and then you're going to get frustrated from that. So those are all things to check. And where I did Higgly Piggly on those mittens, because I did not want any focus, because the way you punch, you'll see that, right? So if I were punching straight up and down, you would see those rows and your eye would be drawn to that. Well, on his beard, I am going to want that, because we know beards are going to grow down. So if you can see right here, and I may have to bring the camera closer, these are all punched in a line, because I want your eye to flow down his beard. So that's what we're doing there. And so I'm going to come back in up here, and I'm going to have to find my other white. I did not get my white out before I sat down. So I did go around once, just all the way outlining his mustache and his lips. Then what I'll do is I will follow. So even though I have these curvy lines that are kind of higgly-piggly, right? I'm going to stay with following those lines. I'm not going to let that cut it up and then me just, go all around. I am actually going to follow those lines. So I'll turn and I will come back, and I'm literally going to go up and down. And all the way up to where I did that outline around his mustache. And then I'll just come back down. So I want that flow and that look. So And then if I need to just fill in right here, I will just fill back in right here, going straight up and down. So, excuse me. So there's those. And then this one, okay, so that's that. All right, and then, okay, I'm gonna have to go find my white. So like this one, I started here, but it's gonna go all the way down into this little curve right here. And then I'll go back up and back down. And then I'll go back up here. And so I've already filled out that little curve. So now I'll start coming back down this way. Then I'm going to run out of yarn. And I will punch until I do. And there it was. All right, let me grab my white. Okay. So I found my white. Now let's come back over here. Okay, so you know how this is. Wish me luck. Finding the inside. The thing is, I know I'm going to use enough of this that I'll use all of this, so it won't matter. Wish y'all could see all the little pin pokes in my arm that are burning. Okay. Alrighty. So now we're back to this one, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here and go up. Since this is thinner, this probably will only take two rows to come up this way. right here and back up. So we are painting with wool, and I like the way the shading's going. Alright, and then go back this way. And we're just going to do the same thing up and down every one of these. And then, so there's a gray one right here, so we'll fill this little area in. And move that. And then, now, let me, alrighty. And so that's supposed to sit over there because it always slides up under my arm. Alright. Okay, so let's go down to here. Come down here. Take this up, and we're just going to follow this one. Alright, I'm going to stop that one up there. And I'm actually going to adjust my chair. And then we'll fill in this little area. But so what I did was, because I had one that started here and it kind of followed this gray. I don't know if you can see that gray right there. And then I had it come on up and bouncing up against this gray here, and it bounced up against this dark gray here. I brought that one up so your eye would go all the way like this. And then I'm coming back and filling in the rest of that area. Oh, I'm still finding velvet over there. Right. He's gonna be so cute. Alright, so I'm gonna go here, and it runs into this dark gray right here. So what I'm gonna do is just go back up and down on this gray squiggly until I get past that, and then I'm going to stop that one. Alright, then I'll come back to here and start there where that one left off. And so that we're not constantly slanting like this way, I'm going to come in here and go ahead and go around this side, because these will all converge, right? So I'm going to cut that one off, and now I'm just going to work this section. Alright, so did you see what I did? I took this and followed it until I got to an open area, and then I just came down. And we'll fill in with the swirls rest of the way, because you want some of those long lines to draw your eye down. All right, so we have those edges completely filled in, it looks like. And so again, just all right, so okay, so now I'm going to go back up and work this area right here. Well, he made an appearance, Susan, about, I don't know, 30 minutes ago. Dawn fed him, and he has gone off. But I expect him to be back here in just a minute. But he was here earlier. Alright, so this one, I'm going to follow this down and around. And then I'm going to take it back up and down against this gray swirl I've got here, and we'll just finish this out down here. Thanks. It is turning out pretty. And I got the yarn today to shade his face, so I'm going to do that maybe Friday. Tomorrow I want to finish that mermaid tail in the morning. And then tomorrow evening on stream, I'm going to be working on granny squares for somebody's grandbaby's blanket. So remember on this, we're wanting to follow the curves. We're wanting to stay with the ups and downs because that's how a beard would look. So that's what I'm doing here, and just filling in the little swirls. So if I have an open area, I'll bring it all the way down and then just fill back in around it, because that's how it would grow, right? Well, I've never grown a beard, but you know what I mean. Binks, are you coming in here? All right, so cut this one off. I'm trying to reach over and shut my drape. Okay. Now we're going to come back up. I'm going to short So there's a light gray right here that swerves all the way down. I'm going to start right here. And I am just going to go up and down right here on this little gray area. Of course, we need to pull lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots more yarn. All right, and then we're just up and down right here, fill this little hole in, and we'll move to the next one. All right, and then there's this little one here. All right, and then I'm going to start here at this little section and we'll come straight down. There's a light gray here, and I'm going to follow that light gray around all the way to the bottom, and then I'm going to come back because there's only one more row in between there that we can do, and then we'll come back, come up to this gray, this dark gray, go around it, and that's the line we'll follow to fill the rest of this in. So he's starting to fill in. Well, probably, but they're they're the flat ones that have the, so when you set this down and you're trimming across, you're never going to go, in and out. You're always going to be going straight across, and you don't get divots in your rugs. I think I probably did get them on Amazon. There is a certain brand that I really like their scissors, but I can look back in my cart and see, because then I have my Ginger, Gingher, G-I-N-G, here, I-N-G-H-E-R. Oh, hold on, let me go back. I wiped everything out. G-I-N-G-H-E-R. That's the brand that I like. And that's what I use for my English paper piecing also. That's what I cut my fabric with if I'm not using a rotary for some reason, or no one's allowed to touch those scissors. Alright, and I'm just going up and down right here. We're underneath the holly leaf, but above his mittens. And y'all, I've got the cutest color for his hat and jacket and mittens. It's going to be so much fun. Alright, so that takes care of under the holly leaves. And we'll leave the holly leaves alone. And I have velvet flying everywhere. So here's your holly leaves, so we won't go below that. That's as far as we'll go. Here's his hand. So we've gone as far right here as we're going to go. We'll come back up here and do this. You are welcome. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right here, and then we're going to make that curve. We're going to follow this back up, and we'll go up and down right here. And this isn't as fun as when we were shading the sheep or shading his beard, but we'll get this done, and then we'll get to shade his face. Maybe on Friday. Tomorrow I'm gonna, like I said, try to finish the mermaid tail so that we can flip it back over, because we'll punch the rest of that one. And then tomorrow evening we're working on granny squares. Crocheting granny squares. Alright, so again, we're just back and forth. And I know I look like this, well, now it is getting tangled. It wasn't tangled, but now it's wanting to be. Alright. Cut that off real quick. And go back up to right here. This should just be up and down. I have one little area to fill in right here. Alright, back up to the top. Right here it is lips. And then we're going to come down this way. Alright, and then we're going to come back He's turning out so pretty. I'm so pretty. Can you call Santa party? I don't know. Alright, so there's my holly leaves. Let me finish this one right here. Okay. And then we're going to finish this little section right here, under his lip. Okay. And now let's move. I'm going to start down here and move upwards since we're going to hit these areas that are stopped. And we're coming in right below that one, so we'll come back down here and then take this one all the way up here. And then around this way. And then fill in this little area. And then find out where that gray stops, and we'll come back down here. And see, that goes to there. And then we'll come down here and come right around that light gray. Okay. Now we'll start right here and come straight up and down, or follow this gray curve. And then are getting there. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to start at the bottom and work our way back up, because these are just little bitty areas that need to be filled in. I've got velvet everywhere. Okay, so see, like that one right here, we'll just go back in, fill in this little hole. Make sure we're going straight up and down. Alright. Now tomorrow I'll bring the camera down closer, since we'll be working just on his face at first, so y'all can really see the stitch definition. Oh no, not tomorrow, maybe Friday. Tomorrow I'm working on my mermaid. I have to work on my mermaid. Alrighty, and then we're gonna okay, so then we're gonna work here at the tip. Alright. And then almost there. Okay. Alright. Just a smidgen more. We have just this little spot and this side here, and that's it. And we will be done with his beard. Alright, that's it. His beard is finished. So we've got the holly leaves here, his mitten, his jacket. We'll start here on maybe Friday, and once we get his face done, then it'll really pop. So tomorrow morning I'm working on my mermaid tail, and let me just check what time that is. I'm thinking it's 10, but let me check. Let's see, tomorrow I'm working on my mermaid tail at 10 a.m. and then tomorrow evening I will be working on granny squares for a baby blanket. I have to have 14 of them done by December 10th. So that is at 5:30 Central tomorrow evening. So that is it for me this evening. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I'm glad I got the 2 mittens completed and his beard done. So we are on a roll. I hope everybody has a great evening, morning, afternoon, and thank you. We will see you tomorrow. I appreciate it. Everybody have a good night.